What's going on, everyone? My name is Impulse, and welcome back to HermitCraft Season 6. I am standing in our... You probably didn't even recognize it. I'm standing in the netherwart farm that we made last episode, and I've been busy making this place look a lot better. It was a disaster. I mean, it worked functionally, but it did not look good when we left off the episode before this one. And so I've gone ahead and decorated with nether bricks and lights and done the ceiling and all that, and it looks a lot better. I've also simplified the track to not have that return line. You know, just figured, why not just send ourselves back through the system and end up where we started, and we can just toggle it on and off that way if we need to. So made it a lot simpler and looks a lot better, and I'm happy with it. But I had a ton of questions regarding why I ended up having to use the macro. A lot of people are familiar, especially if you're making, you know, concrete from concrete powder, that you can hold down two buttons at the same time, left and right, and it should place and break. And that, unfortunately, is not the case for netherwart. I'm not sure how many other, if it's all crops or what, but right now I am actually holding down both the right and left mouse buttons. I'm holding netherwart in my offhand, so you would think that it would plant them. And it's absolutely not. It's only harvesting. So that is an issue. I don't know if it's 1.14, if it's a bug, what they consider that. But basically, if we're holding down the buttons, it just does not want to plant. And so I had to kind of resort to the macro to do the right and then left and then right and then left really fast. I think I did the 35 millisecond delay doing, so I had to go right and then left and then, wait, which one did I do first? Left, then right, because I'd have to break and then harvest and plant. Left, right, and then 35 millisecond delay, and it does that really fast as we cruise along here, because I wanted the minecart to be able to travel at a decent speed, you know, obviously for efficiency of getting thing harvested, and also if I happen to jump out of the minecart, I didn't want to get stuck on the rails. I wanted to be able to go all the way around. So a lot of those were part of the process I went through when I designed this, testing all those things out. But it occurred to me that I just came back on after designing something in creative and just kind of built it for you guys and said, here's what it is. Didn't really explain the reasoning behind the decisions that I made here. And so that's something I want to do differently today. I want to actually go through the process of designing a farm. And currently I'm in need of mushrooms. You guys are probably guessing it. I'm in need of mushrooms because potions of weakness actually do not require netherwart. They require mushrooms and what else? Spider eye and sugar, I think, to make a fermented spider eye. And potions of weakness are really popular right now because everybody's converting zombie villagers, it seems, to lower prices of trades. So yeah, I want to make sure we have a good stock of those so that we can sell those. But I need to get a lot of mushrooms. And so today we're going to design a mushroom farm, and I'm going to take you through the process on how I come up with the solution. So my process for designing a farm first starts with gaining knowledge about what we're trying to farm. So usually the first thing I do is I head over to the wiki, the Minecraft wiki, and I search for whatever it is I'm trying to farm, in this case mushrooms. And the wiki will tell you a lot about how mushrooms grow and spread and how you can farm them and give you ideas from there. And then I hop on over to Test World, and you can see here, this is the test world that I actually used for trying to come up with the netherwart farm. You can see the embarrassing failed attempts at the final solution that I came up with. But yeah, we'll just come over here and we need to kind of learn some things about mushrooms. So first off, let's go ahead and get ourselves a brown mushroom. And what I am reading about these is that they will spread if the light level is less than 12. So we need to make sure that we have a dark room. But there is an exception to the rule. If you have mycelium or podzol, it will spread regardless of the light level. So let's go ahead and just grab some mycelium. I don't think it matters which one. There doesn't seem to be any kind of environmental conditions regarding which block was better. So if we do something like this and we place a brown mushroom down, it shouldn't matter that it's daytime. It should eventually spread. And I think what we can do is maybe speed up. Oh, it's already spreading. Look at that. Look at how fast it's spread. We've already got, oh my goodness. Oh, you know why it's spreading so fast? Because I think I have the random tick speed up. Let's see. What is it? Game rule random tick speed. I think it's up to like 3,000. If we set it to 3, I don't think they will spread as fast. So let's take these back out and you won't see them spread as fast. So let's do this. Let's take a look at the spawning rules for how they spread. It looks like in every tick, a mushroom's given a 1% chance to do the following: choose a random block in a 3 by 3 by 3 space. So we've got that right here. We've got more than enough, right? I did a 5 by 5. So starting with this guy, it's going to choose a random block in a 3 by 3 by 3, which is nice. That means we could actually go up above this and have a chance of them spreading up here, if I'm not mistaken. So let's just do this. Let's design our platforms to that 3 by 3 by 3 space around the single mushroom, and then we will see if it spreads. And we could probably go, you know, let's do this. Let's see if we can go up one more. So this is kind of how I go through the testing process. It's just a trial and error type thing. So let's break this guy. We'll put that there. And now let's take the random tick speed back up to 3,000. They seem to spread pretty quick, so we got good results there. And let's see if any will spread down to the bottom or the top. And it looks like they do not, right? We don't see any on the bottom, any on the top. It all kind of ended up here. And by reading the wiki, it says it's because mushrooms are given a better chance, a 50% chance of spreading on their own layer than they would if, you know, above them or below them. And now I'm starting to think that maybe they wouldn't anyway, because this is actually more than 3 blocks away, if you think about it, right? 1, 2, this would be the 3rd block away. So maybe they won't grow in here, but we can find out if we get rid of these blocks and don't really give it a chance. And the reason why it stopped at 5 is because that's also what it checks for, to see if there are 5 or more mushrooms in the vicinity of that 3 by 3 by 3 space. And so it stopped once it hit 5. So it does not look like we're able to spread these mushrooms below or above. We still have the random tick speed really high. So I think maybe these are just too far out of range. When it said 3 by 3 by 3, it was actually talking about blocks at that level and that level. And now we should see them maybe go to these here. Let's see, let's take these out. And because it has a lower chance, it may take just a little bit longer for that to happen. And because there's not a lot of blocks to choose from, also it's probably having a problem trying to find these blocks and getting that spawn algorithm to see them as valid blocks to spawn on, maybe? Okay, there we go. So as we added a few more, now we're starting to get, there we go. So this is what it meant by 3 by 3 by 3 space. And now we kind of understand that a lot better. So this is one option we have for getting a mushroom farm going. Another option you might be thinking about is, what about huge mushrooms? And if we get ourselves some cover here and some dirt, we can actually place a mushroom down and bone mill it, and it will apparently spread to the block next to it. So there we go. Okay, so we got a nice sized mushroom underneath this platform here, the 7 by 7, and now if we were to harvest it, we should gain back some mushrooms out of it. So let's just go ahead and toss these ones down over here so that we can see how many mushrooms we actually get out of this deal. And we're just going to punch it by hand here for our first little experiment, and I will clear this whole thing. We'll see how many mushrooms we can get. There we go. I punched the whole mushroom down. We actually got 18. So took 1 and got 18 back. So a positive of 17 mushrooms in that case. And that's not bad, but it did take some time to harvest. And then it got me thinking, I wonder if we can use the fortune trick like we did the netherwart on this. So let's go ahead. Oh, by the way, this is kind of neat to see too. The spreading of the mushrooms don't have to be on mycelium or podzol or dirt even. It looks like they will spread on any of the blocks, and you can see it got 5, so it should stop spreading at this point. But yeah, that's interesting. That's an interesting note. So maybe if we do go with that design, they don't all need to be mycelium. All right, so let's go ahead and do this again. Let's make sure it's about the same size. Trash the ones that we have. And now let's use the fortune axe and see if we get even more mushrooms. All right, so we got 21. That doesn't seem to be like a night and day difference. So I don't really think the fortune 3 had that much effect on it. Of course, there's going to be some variance because it is a random chance that it's going to actually drop the mushrooms when you break the blocks. But I'm not really seeing enough evidence there to confirm that Fortune 3 is really going to make a solid difference. And the idea of having to manually grow and cut down mushrooms doesn't really intrigue me. I want something that I can fully AFK, doesn't take any sort of material. I like with the bone meal, I'd have to make sure I have enough bone meal. And yeah, I could macro automate it or just hold down right click. We could do lots of things like move the mushroom blocks into a blast chamber with duplicating TNT, all that kind of stuff. But I feel like that's really overcomplicating the process. And like I said, I don't want to have to worry about keeping some sort of material in my inventory or stocked up for this to happen, when we can just fully automate the thing and have it, you know, just fully AFKable, doesn't take anything. We're already going to be in the netherwart farm, so if we built this nearby, it should just be able to continue producing mushrooms as we exist basically nearby. So this is what I think I'm going to go with. I think I'm going to go with this spreading technique. And now we need to design the farm in a way that we can maximize the output. So first I wanted to test that theory that we could actually use blocks other than mycelium or podzol to have them spread, and it doesn't seem to be happening over here. And I was a little confused at first because it was happening over here, no problem. And then I realized the big difference in the two was actually light level. So if we look at here, they are spreading to this 3x3 area around it because they are light level of 12, and it needs to be 12 or lower. So that makes sense. We put that overhead platform there, and that is why they seem to work over here, but they don't seem to work over here because we have the sky axis, so the light is higher than 12. So that means we could go with these kind of blocks if we wanted to and just cover it and make sure the light level is lower, but I don't want to have to really worry about lighting in this place too much. I want to be able to spam lights around just to make sure mobs aren't going to spawn, because we definitely don't want any mobs getting in here and junking up the system. So I don't want to have to worry about keeping it, you know, kind of in between 8 and 12 light level just to make sure that they can spread to anything. So I think we'll just go ahead and stick with using mycelium. All right, so I'm starting to build a prototype, just a small slice of what I envision the final product being, just to kind of test the mechanics out. And one thing that I did notice was that once I added another mushroom kind of nearby, it didn't really seem to do much. And that's because further reading, it says in a 9x9x3 area, it's checking to see if there's fewer than 5 mushrooms, and if there is, it will spread. If not, it's not going to. So I've now kind of moved this away so that if this is checking the area, the 9x9x3 around it, it's only going to be checking up to here and that way, and this way this guy here can start producing over this way as well. But then the other thing I was thinking is, how are we going to actually harvest these mushrooms? And I was thinking it looks like we could flush them with some water, and we know water travels 8 spaces, so I've kind of designed this to be 8 spaces long, and now we just need to get a dispenser or maybe do the whole trapdoor waterlogging trick to flush these out. So I think I'm going to set that up next. Also, I found out that these will not spread to glass. So I set up some glass over here where we did see spreading happening because of this, and it is not spreading. As you can see, we still have our random tick speed way up, and they should have been spreading if it was possible, and they obviously cannot spread to glass. So we're going to use that as a way to make sure that they aren't spreading where we don't want them to. All right, so first attempt I'm trying here is with the waterlogged trapdoor technique, because this is just a simple, cheap way of doing it. But the problem is that this actually is taking up 1 spot for the source right here. You can see it's only going 7 more and stopping here. And I kind of want to squeeze in that 8th block. So I may go a little more expensive on this design and actually put in a dropper, or a dispenser I should say, right here, and power that with a water bucket inside so that we can actually get the full 8 spaces for spreading. All right, we've got the dispensers in now with the water buckets inside of them, and I even put another one down here so we can get a good chance to see how this works if we were to activate this. And I'm thinking, you know, that's something we're going to have to figure out too, is how often we want to activate this for max efficiency. But we can see here, okay, so obviously we want to make sure that things can't pop up onto the sides when we consider this design, but you can see the water is flushing them all the way to the edge, and then at that point we can drop them down to a collection point. And of course we're going to make sure that we time it so that once the water reaches the end here and gets all the items off the edge, we time it to retract the water so that we give it more chances to immediately start growing, and we can see that picking up pretty quickly here as we watch. Here we go. We got one there now, and they're starting to spread again. So yeah, with the random tick speed up, we're going to get kind of a false positive here on how fast these could actually spread. But yeah, I'm thinking maybe just do this once a day, maybe just do a daylight detector, and then once a day harvest some would probably be good enough. Give it ample time to make sure that they've spread, and you know, that we're not blocking the spawn spaces with water or something like that. So that should work just fine. I'm thinking this design is what I'm gonna go with, and I'm feeling pretty good about it because yeah, it's a pretty small design here. We can tile this, we can build it up, we can build it out, and we can even mirror it on the other side and have a center collection channel if we want. So there's lots of possibilities with this design. The only real expensive piece is these dispensers, but for us, we have the string and cobblestone, and yeah, we can make bows and all that to do this. So it's not that big of a deal, and I'll just have to figure out the wiring to be able to get all the dispensers to fire at once, but that shouldn't be too difficult either. So I think at this point, I'm feeling pretty good. I'm gonna hop back onto the HermitCraft server, start to gather all the supplies it's gonna take to build the farm, find a place to put it, and we'll get going on it. All right, I've built up a few layers now, and I think I'll build up one more. It looks like we got a little more space. We are directly underneath the netherwart farm and kind of utilizing the same real estate that we did for that. You can see we are right behind the potion brewers. We'll probably end up putting up a wall right here, but I've started to do the redstone as well. I decided once I got in here to add another dispenser down here because I did notice that we were getting from this mushroom that's on this block behind here, we were getting some that was actually growing all the way down here, which is pretty cool. So another extra space there, and all I had to do was add another dispenser, and so we kind of tiled them along here. And then we've also got another row of dispensers up here, and you can see that over there we are actually getting some growth. It's pretty slow. Of course, when we were in our creative testing world and we had the tick speed up, it seemed like we were going to be getting mushrooms for days. That's not really going to be the case. It's pretty slow going, to be honest with you. I set up just a few other mushrooms just around here just to kind of get an idea of what we were dealing with, because I didn't feel like we were getting very many at all from this system. And I've been in here building it for just over an hour or so, and I've gotten, well, I guess I've gotten a few. Okay, it's not too bad. Some of these might have been left over from the build itself, but yeah, I was getting a little worried about how little mushrooms we were getting. And I just think that this is probably a pretty slow method no matter how you slice it here, trying to let these things go. This has been planted for an hour and it still hasn't spread, to give you the idea. But, you know, if we make this thing pretty large, we might be able to passively get a decent amount of mushrooms, and that should be good enough for me. So like I said, I'll probably do one more layer. I just wanted to stop for a second and kind of get an idea of how the redstone's going to work and how we're going to bring it up. I think I'll just, I may have to do glass or something to make this go up here to the next layer. Also, I completely ran out of mycelium, so I stopped for that reason too. I actually had to end up planting some dirt and letting it spread here to get the job done. But I want to get the redstone in on this side as well, and then I think we'll finish off with the final layer, and then we will call this, well, I guess we have to do the collection thing too. I've been just kind of running through here, but this should be pretty easy. We can do a water canal if we want, and yeah, if we do it right, we can definitely do a water canal, I think. No, I think we better do hoppers along here. That might work better. Anyway, so I'll get all of that figured out, put in place, and we'll see the final product here in a moment. All right, we've got the redstone in place. We've got the water in the dispensers now. We've got it all wired up to all the different layers. So now we can press this button and we hear all the dispensers going off at once, which is super loud. And yeah, it should be flushing mushrooms off of the tunnels here into the hoppers below. And let's see. Yeah, see if we got any. Oh, yep, we've been collecting a few, probably some of these in testing and maybe a few more just now. And yeah, we can turn the system back off. Of course, I did mention I'm going to actually hook this up to a daylight sensor, so it's just going to trigger once a day. So about once every 20 minutes or so, this thing will run to flush any mushrooms that have grown off the platforms and into our collection area. And of course, I will do that for both sides of the farm. But yeah, that's it. I mean, I'm pretty excited about how this turned out. I'm looking forward to passively collecting mushrooms as we're kind of chilling and AFKing around the basin and other farms here. But yeah, I know this episode was a little bit different than usual. We kind of went through the process. We spent some time in creative mode. If that's something you guys enjoyed, please let me know in the comments down below, of course. And yeah, that's gonna do it for me today. Like I said, if you guys enjoyed the video, hit the like button. If you're not subscribed, make sure you do that before you go. And with that said, I will see you guys again next time. Have a good one, everyone.